Hello and welcome to another episode of Literary Gladiators, the show where we discuss debate literature in all of its forms. If it's written work, it's game. Let's meet the panel.
I'm Nick.
Hi, I'm Jesi.
I'm Tori.
And I'm Josh. And today we are going to be going over one of Tori's selections, a children's book, probably from her childhood.
This one literally is. It's one of my favorite childhood books. It's Bugs That Go Bump in the Night. It's by, I can't remember.
Carter.
Yeah, David A. Carter, who has a whole series of these. There's a whole slew of them. There's this one, and then they have all sorts of other holidays. So he is a renowned American author that is specifically known for, like, pop-up books. Like, he kind of perfected the pop-up book game. And as a kid, we had a bunch of these. And one of my favorite versions of this is Bugs That Go Bump in the Night. I didn't really have too much of a starter question for this, but other than the fact that David A. Carter kind of has stuff for kids as well as for adults. He actually wrote some books for adults on how to create your own pop-up book. But yeah, so he has other stuff. If you go online, you can find some of the things, which kind of plays with pop art and plays with space, which is kind of something that he does with here as well. And one of my favorite parts of the book is the tactile aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
And growing up, that was one of the things that if you ask me like what it is about the bug books, it's that tactile like ability to play with things and stuff like that has always been something that like was a memory for me. What was something that stuck out with, I don't know, did any of you have bug books as kids growing up?
So yeah, I didn't have, or at least I don't think I had. If I had it, I don't remember it. Let me put it that way.
You would, because they all look the same.
Yeah, I
They
was
all
gonna
have the
say
same
I don't
image.
think I did. I don't think we had many pop-up books at home. We had a lot of
The
Bernstein
big
Bears.
bug-eyed bugs.
I was more into the spot books.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
gonna say
The
we
dog
had those.
spot.
We didn't really have a ton of pop-up ones, but I thought this was adorable, and you know, the way he kind of plays around with some of the words, like the basic monsters that we know, but he made them buggy.
Mhm.
So I was like, that was
Like
just
the witches,
adorable.
and the haunted
Or,
house.
I think it was
my haunted house is
Frankenbug.
ripped.
But
But
the
Yeah,
Frankenstein.
yeah, it's like even the house
Frankenbug.
is a little bug.
It was
It
very
did-
cute.
It did put.
A little bit predictable.
It did make me make another list of bugs to add to my I'm afraid of sort.
Frankenbug,
That's
Dragon
really
bug,
bug,
dragon
yeah.
bug.
Well, so this one is so beaten up, it's so hysterical. But
The Bug-O-Lantern.
the Bugger
See, I thought that
Lantern,
was so
the
cute.
Bugger Lantern was my favorite because he stuck out and he had a cute little smiley face on it. But I have several of these, and I forgot. I was thinking of this one, but there's a newer one, Halloween Bugs, and that was the one that I was thinking of as well because it has more things that like pop out and pop out, and each page is like, what's behind this door? What's behind this door? And it has a little bit more of a rhyming scheme to it. I think, yeah, if you were to ask me at the end of the day, like one of the things that you're like, why did this book series stick out in your head? There's nothing to it. It's literally 6 pages of like goofy little looking
Look at this
bugs
bug.
and stuff
Look at
like
this
that.
bug.
Yeah, I think it's the.
Frankenbug is so cute.
Oh no, there was tape on this guy. But it's, I think the tactile dimension to it and always kind of stuck with me because we had this, and then we had, this is going to sound like completely opposite end of the spectrum, we had these tiny books that were like educational little books, and every so often, every couple of pages in the book, it would have these transparency pages. So if it was like anatomy of a ladybug, it would have like the shell,
I know what
and
you're
then
talking about.
you'd flip it over,
Yeah, I was
but
gonna say,
both
that
sides
sounds
of the
familiar.
transparency, like you'd have the top of the bug and then the bottom of the bug, or it would be like
That does sound really familiar.
Yeah.
storm systems and how like storm clouds form or something like that, and they were tiny, and they were probably like half the size of this book. They were tiny little things. We still have a bunch of those at home. So like the tactile, when books did something different, that those kinds of things stuck out with me. And so we have like this one, and there's all different holidays as well. Like I have love bugs, space bugs. We have a Christmas one. Space bugs. It's so cute. I nearly accidentally grabbed it because it's purpley black as well. So in my head, like I was like, oh, purple and black, and I pulled it out and it was like bugs in space. I was like,
Wrong.
that's
book.
not what I was looking for. And like I said, Halloween. So there's Halloween, Hanukkah, Christmas. But then there's Jingle Bugs as well, depending on like where it was. So he created a bunch of these, and this is something that I was looking into. David A. Carter worked with his wife as well to make these books. Also, apparently, did some official artwork for like Coldplay. So he's an American author as well as like an American artist. So some of the stuff that he plays with is space. and you know, more of a pop art kind of cultural, very simple, but it's a children's book. That's it.
I did like
Isn't
that all the
simple.
pages were purple, because I know over
That was the other-
over a period of time, if I'm reading something and it's in white, I'm just like I kind of lose focus, my eyes get blurry. But the purple would just, I mean, for me, it kept me occupied. So.
Yeah, I mean, these are straight up like for kids. This was my favorite page because I liked the ghost in the mirror.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, as a little kid.
I actually thought that was a
kind of-
picture, not a mirror.
Yeah, they're all the different little things. So this one is, like I said, beat to high hell. Because it's so love-worn. All of our books are, like, love-worn of the bug book versions. But it's a simple little thing, but like I said, there's an interactivity to it, and there's, like, a dimension, so it kind of played with, like,
It's very
perspective
easy to
and
read,
stuff.
too, so it's like, you know, it grows with the kids
like,
as they're
yeah.
learning to read.
There's
So.
6 words on a page.
Exactly.
So it's not like
They're
it's
simple words. They're not even like the monster words. Like kids can break that down. That clearly, lantern.
like you know
they
what
can
a
break it down.
jack-o'-lantern is. So it's just it kind of does
Exchange.
that fun nonsensical thing that
Mhm.
like Seuss would do.
Mhm.
Would take like a word and like transpose it into something else. And
Exactly.
your brain kind of is able to follow that pattern and be like, a bug-o'-lantern. Oh, it's a pumpkin. It's a jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah, and you can
Like-
already picture kids going, "Ha, the bug-o'-lantern," you know, like just happy about it. Like, oh, that's so silly.
But I think this is
So-
probably where my love of like Halloween and like creepy things came from. Was this book? This and like
because it makes it fun
Disney
and not
World.
so scary.
yeah, because there's absolutely nothing scary in here. All of them have like all of the creepy crawlies, even on the front of the book, coming out of the like spooky chest.
The big
They all have
eyes.
like the witch, the little witch bug. They have like giant bulbous eyes. Like there's nothing scary about. And that's the other thing is his use of circles. And the colors and stuff like that are bright and fun and pleasing to the eye. So there's nothing really scary about that.
It's a good children's book.
Yeah, it's a children's book through and through, and even made something that was like creepy and crawly, like little Dracula. Little Dracula has a cute little face. Like how can you be scared of that?
I'm sorry, that's not Dracula. That is clearly a Dracubug.
Exactly. See,
Okay.
it's a Dracula. So they're not actually the creatures. But like the ornate little coffin that he's in is like could be creepy, and then you pop it open and it has this like Emily the bug face. Because that's exactly what you hear when you see it.
Yep.
So.
What does the bug sound like again?
Only imagine how that would sound on helium.
Dogs would be crying 3 counties over.
Oh goodness.
If Tori was on helium, it would be like a Betty Boop cartoon, and that creeps me out of the
Nobody would be able to hear me. Like I said, only dogs would hear me, and they'd be very
Maybe
upset.
dolphins.
Maybe dolphins. Yeah.
You're like,
I
"Oh,
personally just thought this was mediocre at best. I thought that I think that there was. I think that I've seen.
Sorry,
I think that
my children's book from my youth wasn't highbrow enough for you.
I think I prefer the writing style from Eric Carle. I think this kind of reminded me of Good Dog Carl,
I mean, these are like
and
kids,
I
like
preferred Good
you're
Dog
learning how to read books, like
Mhm.
period, end of the story. And like I said, that's why a lot of the pages, like for tactile, like playing with it, is so that way it's more imagery than it is words. So, and the other books are like that too. The Jingle Bugs at the very end of it, there's a little Christmas tree, and I think ours died long ago, but it had a little light in its nose before like books actually lit up, and it would sing like jingle bells. So that's like I said, the interactivity of these books are the part that is most endearing to me of this whole entire book series. So
Well, like I said, you know, my brother and I growing up, we didn't really have a ton of pop-up books, so I don't really have anything to compare this to, really. Aside from, you know, like, we had, I remember the Bernstein Bears, we had, like, the Little Brother books, Spot, and I can remember, we had Stella Luna. So it's like, we didn't really have
really
a lot
chose
of
that one,
pop.
which is really funny.
I still
I
own
feel
it.
like everybody has still. Yeah, mine is probably
Still
somewhere
own it.
buried deep in my bookshelf. But what was I gonna say?
Like-
If you asked me about like pop-up books, I know it's like a culture. Like if you look in like movies and stuff like that, especially horror movies, they have children's books that are all like pop-up and stuff like that, and like you play with them. I think this is the only book series that I had that were pop-up books. We have 5 or 6 of these, but like nothing else was a pop-up book or an interactive book in that fashion. Everything else was like you said, like Berenstain Bears and Stella Luna,
like
and
different kind of things. So I think like it's
Herschel
great.
and the Goblins and stuff like that. The Hanukkah Goblins, like, but it was where it was beautifully illustrated, but like there was no dimensionality to it.
Yeah,
I remember growing up and seeing books where like you open a page and there's a train and you could grab the little tag and like
That's what I mean, like
Yeah,
the interactiveness
I love
in the
those.
books. So
I have this book from my childhood. It kind of reminds me of this, but it's more within behind the screen. This one's for Little Red Riding Hood. There's a few others. I think there's a Hansel and Gretel one and whatnot where they move around. This is
like
it uses the motion of you like opening the book to
Her and the
move
Wolf. This is 20 some odd years old. It keeps, but this is behind. There's a lot of them. I mean, I've read a lot of things that take elements of this book, where you have the pop-up element, you have the rhyming element, you have the tactile.
There's nothing
element.
new here. It's just
This is just. I mean, this is catering to a particular audience, and I think
kids, children.
Yes.
Because it's a children's book. Anyway.
that was implied.
it's actually a kid's book.
But
It's actually a bug book.
I think I'm going to write. I think I'm going to put together something like this. We could make it Literary Gladiators merchandise. It's called "What's Jesse Doing Behind the Door."
Again,
Where'd Larry go? And just every page it pulls the Larry a little bit farther out.
further away. From
What's Jesse doing behind the blinds? Drinking a nice cold glass of wine.
I like it.
He's thought about this.
This works. We could do this.
Don't worry, it's fine.
What's
each
Jesse
member-
doing below the mat? Petting a nice fluffy cat.
Oh, we could do every member of the
Wow,
thing. Because
yes.
it'd just be what are the literary gladiators
What's
doing?
Jesse-
No, we make a series.
What's
Each member gets their own book.
What's
Oh.
Jesse saying behind the shelf? Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself.
I love my.
Where is
Epstein
Jesse's
memes.
new boots? Where's Jesse's new boots?
That would be
Yeah,
part
out
of the
with
series.
Zach, who's having a boot? It's just, you open the page and then his little tongue moves back and forth.
Can we please make this?
Well, we'll
I'll
look up,
post
we'll
for
look
any
up,
pictures you want.
we'll look up for the David A. Carter book on how to make pop-up books, and then we'll continue with that. There
It's
we
an
go.
adult book, so we can technically read it and review it.
There we
Yeah.
go.
We've done.
Already.
Alright.
Do we have any final thoughts?
If I have a kid, I'll let him read that book.
I
Good.
agree.
Yes.
It's a good. I imagine if the rest of the books are like it, it's a good little series.
I think at the end of the day, this is the type of book where it's like it's interactive between the parent and the child, so it's supposed to have that. I mean, also
Yeah,
there's
you can picture the. Oh, look at this
playing.
guy.
So there is that. It's that playfulness of learning how to read, because this is like
Does
primary
that still
level.
fit on you?
Probably not. It's a tiny little thing, but it's meant to be playful and fun, and we're doing this now.
Yep.
And I'm gonna rip this, but
Don't rip it. Just hold it up. Oh,
I'm
you're
a
so
bug
cute.
now. I'm the bug of your nightmares. Anyway, but it's all ripped. It's so lovelorn. But it's supposed to be that it's spending time with your child and having fun with learning how to read, and that's what I think these books are supposed to be at the end of the day. They're funny and they're goofy and they're quality time spent with learning how to read, but also just having fun. They're fun little, like, before the end of the night, like you're laying down to bed and this is ready, sort of thing.
I agree.
Already, how would we rate it? 0 to 5 stars, half stars permitted. Nick?
I'd say 4.5.
Jesse?
4.5. Why not?
5.
I'll be generous. I'll give it a 3.
Wow, who are you?
You're not invited
Poor
to my birthday
soul.
party.
Right? Wow. He doesn't like to have fun.
Or he just doesn't like bugs.
I certainly
Hey,
like it.
Apparently he doesn't like bugs and he
Doesn't
doesn't
like
like to
bugs.
have
You've
fun.
watched-
Doesn't like monster
You've
bugs.
watched you've watched other discussions where I talked about children's books,
Uh-huh.
and you'll have a display of my 5-star kids' books.
Like I said,
There.
this book is not highfalutin enough for him.
Hey, when I was critical of his children's book, he nicknamed me Shrek.
Apparently, it's the
Well,
rivalry
who's
of the
Shrek now?
children's books.
Right? That's why you shouldn't do apparently books that you love, because then you become
Do
instantly...
you have? Hey, Larry, do you have air conditioning in your swamp?
Okay, alright, we're done
Alrighty.
making low blows here.
If
Let's
you're
move this along.
if you're interested in reading Bugs That Go Bump in the Night by David A. Carter, here is a copy of the book. And I want to thank everybody for checking out this video. If you're interested in what you see, please subscribe to our channel, and you will definitely be able to find more. Be sure to give us a good old like, and leave a comment, and we'd be happy to continue the discussion. Be sure to join us next time for another episode of Literary Gladiators. For now, keep reading.